Hi guys, it's your boy T to the Wata. Hi, how are you? Um, so today I'm gonna be talking about a new love story that I'm having. Not so much a love story, but just summarizing what went on and my viewpoint of what happened. So it's this boy Brian, Ryan. The names sound alike, right? So I want a family so bad, y'all. Like I am like willing to make anything work. Let me say that. And so I add him on Instagram, and this there may have to be a part two. So I'm just gonna show you everything really quick. There's probably gonna be a part two, maybe even a part three. Ooh, girl, he typing right now. Yeah, so there's probably going to be a part two and part three because it's weird and I feel like it's weird, but like I keep getting these situations where like I feel like it's like being made seem like what I consider is going to be like love or an authentic like love story is considered weird. So
Okay, so I'm going to use this time to talk about my understanding of what occurred, my viewpoint on it, and maybe I'll get into some more detail on some thoughts that I have and just my this is my total reflection of this occurrence with Brian. So, if you want to know word for word what happened, or as they say, the receipts, then you can obviously pause and look for yourself. So, let me summarize what happened first. We started talking, and there was some type of problematic issue that came up, I believe, on both of our ends. And we had conflicting interest, and now everything has ended. So my intentions for doing these videos were to talk about what I'm going through personally, but also I wanted a third person's point of view or perspective on it because multicultural awareness tells you that other people have different viewpoints than your own personal viewpoint. And nobody is 100% right all of the time. And from my personal opinion, I feel like I make the best decisions that I can that would align for my needs. And so I don't think that I'm wrong. So if somebody else told me that I'm wrong, I would like some type of like explanation or like to make me understand or persuade me to think a different way. Um Not just like a pointing the finger type situation, but like explain to me why that doesn't add up to you. Now, my personal opinion of what happened is that partially I don't think that he mentally is mature. I think the way that he responded was immature, and I think that um the route that he went was a stereotypical um route that is really a label that they put on homosexuality a lot, that is just based around sexual intercourse. So let me start from the beginning. and get into the nitty-gritty of it. When we first started talking, everything was fine. And as the conversation progressed, I remember that a red flag went off for me. I felt like there was some type of clarification that needed to be stated based off of a comment that he said. I was gearing towards this concept. I want to meet your family. I want to show my face so that they can start becoming familiar with me, so that I can build a relationship with the people who matter to you in your life. Slowly and surely. Then, but the response that he made was, I will never ask you to show PDA in public. That's insane. And I do remember what I said before that. I said before that that I think there's like appropriate ways to show public displays of affection, like holding hands or leaning on each other, etc. And after he replied that he would never make me do that, I responded, but what if we're at a basketball game and the kiss cam comes on us, like where the camera shines down on two random people and they're supposed to kiss, and it's like all on the monitor and hearts fly up and everybody's like, "Aw." Or what if we walk under mistletoe and it's the holidays? And then the response was, yes, of course. And then I was just trying to be silly and I was like, that's good. I agree, because sometimes a good smooch can't be avoided. I felt a little bit uneasy and it felt like everything started going downhill since that comment. But me, I like to see things through, and I really want to find somebody to create a family with. And so I was like, make this work. Just make this work. Just be patient. And, obviously communicate, because I think communication can resolve like issues and bring clarification, because at the end of the day, I presume that everybody genuinely wants the same thing. Like, of course, we all want to be clothes. You may want a red shirt and I want a blue shirt, but I mean, at the end of the day, we both want to have clothes on our back. So I assume everybody just wants to be comfortable and wants to live a good, long, healthy life. Like, that's what I just assume, even though we may have different ideas of what that is. And that was one of the things that I said, was that getting to know what we like and dislike is going to be one of the most challenging things that we're going to do in building this relationship. Because I personally like to go to the park for fun. That's what I consider something fun to do. But I started becoming uncomfortable with the conversation. Now, there's different levels of being uncomfortable. There's just full out, I'm just done with this, I'm going to drop this, or I can stand the rain and be a little bit wet and keep it moving, So I'm no stranger to overcoming obstacles. So I just kind of stood in the rain and put up my umbrella. That's symbolic. So after he made me uncomfortable, I still progressed because I want a family, and you have to bear the burden sometimes. And he kept making things, like, he made it more sexual, and I was appalled. But I still did not want to stray away, because even though I was uncomfortable, because I feel like the way that he approached me now at this point of us not even really talking a good hour, we haven't even talked on the phone, we have not hung out, we have not done anything fun to solidify that, we can make this work. I felt appalled. I felt upset because why would you bring up anything sexual towards me, and like how I don't even think I should have to finish this. Like I just feel like how dare you? you know. Um but I just made it clear that I feel like sexual intercourse is a reward, and I think that it's a given. Like if you're in a relationship with someone, then you're obviously going to have intercourse with them. That's a given. That's what people do. That's normal. Um and I feel like homosexual relationships are very taboo because it's almost like it's this like complete like idea of what it is, and in my mind it doesn't seem right. It would be great if it was like a fairy tale fantasy, but it's just like one of the worst fantasies I could ever see because realistically it can be traumatizing if you do it wrong or if you rush into a situation, and that's what is projected a lot of the time, and I'm just like that's not realistic or something that can be sustainable. So anyway, I progress with my story. So after he started making things sexual, like are you into stuff like and all of that, like are you into like any kinky stuff and all of that? And I was just like I'm like I was like I like things. I was like I don't care for like because in my mind when he said that, like I've seen things on TV, like I've watched that show with those ballroom dancers in New York, and how that lady would dress up in leather and smack the people around fetishes and stuff. And like some people like feed, or some people like to dress and role play and all that crazy stuff. I mean, that's not me. That's not like sexually like arousing to me. Like you do the do. Like I don't that don't do nothing for me. Anyway, so I was just like, it's just a given. I made it clear that you got to take care of your man, and so I replied that it should be a reward, as in like once a month, and on special occasions like if we're on vacation, or if it's like an anniversary or something like that, like a special occasion. And then we kind of got into a miniature conversation because I was like that I prefer somebody that's like verse, because I'm verse. And then he replied something about like side, and I'm not exactly familiar with that term. I was just like, does that mean like in between your legs or something? But I didn't ask because I didn't want to know. I was just like, whatever. Um, because that's one of the things that I feel like does not make sense. Although I'm gonna say my problematic opinion, and this is my opinion, and you do not have to agree with it or even consider it's right, because I don't consider it to be a correct opinion, but this is my opinion nonetheless. I think all of these like labels and stuff are a bunch of BS. I do. It just makes stuff more complicated and confusing. Either you like guys or you like girls, and I don't necessarily need to dress like a woman to be with a man, but that's problematic because some people, or at least they say this, I don't necessarily feel like that. Like I have moments where I feel like I want to be silly, and moments when I want to be more serious, and that's my own personal experience, and I can't take that onto somebody else. If they feel a necessity to say what they say, then let people do what they do. Just find somebody who can love you for who you are, or help you become who you want to be. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not correct in this situation. or 100% fair. But I progress. Onto the conversation, onto the story. Um, After he made me feel uncomfortable a little bit, I still progressed, and he was asking me some stuff, and I tried to make it clear that that of what I was expecting, my viewpoints on like intercourse. And I was like, there was a comment that he made that didn't really make sense to me. He was like, I'm confused. Instead of asking me, when I said it was a reward, he was like, I'm confused, reward question mark. And I was like, I would have expected him to ask, well, what does that mean, a reward, or what is a reward? Because I've not actually brought up intercourse, I think, yet at this point. I've just brought up things like what I like to do for fun, which is go to theme parks. And because that is fun, like to me, like water sports, theme parks, doing arts and crafts stuff, like little stuff that helps the time go by faster, playing a game, taking a walk or something like that, or making like something like weird, like type of food. Like one time I made this peppermint cheesecake with my little sister, and that was fun because one, I don't even really like peppermint like that, and I don't even think I even ate it. I think I nibbled it just to taste it, but it was just fun, something fun to do with somebody else, like just spending time together. And those are the type of things that I would like say, not like making money as a requirement for the reward at the end of the month, or not making sure you go to work and all that kind of stuff. That's a given. It does take money to build the stuff, but that's not where I want to take this. That's not where we're at with this. That's your own personal life. I want to date somebody who's together or trying to be together like I am. But also back to where I am, what I am talking about. Personally, like, did we go on dates this month? Did we spend time together? Did we have conversations? And like I want to like plan out like what type of stuff do we want to accomplish this month in order to get that reward at the end of the month. You know what I mean? Like do we want to try to meet up at this park and maybe exchange like some, it doesn't always have to be expensive, like silly bands are cute. And that actually brought me into my next third red flag. But I'm like exchange like little small insignificant like gifts, because it just feels good when somebody gives something to you. I've lost so many gifts. Like I think one time somebody gave me like a Mr. Potato Head, or like one of my friends like just bought me a box of honey buns, and it wasn't even the good kind that I like, but like it was just nice that somebody thought enough about me to bring me something. And just like checking off like the list of doing stuff that shows that we're thinking about each other and trying to build a relationship. Because like that was one of the first, that was actually one of the other red flags that came off to me, because he was like, I was like, how soon before we can like hang out and get like a smoothie or coffee or something, and like have a conversation like face to face. And then that's when it became obvious to me that this was not the type of relationship that I am looking for, and that this is probably coming to a conclusion, because he was like that's not necessarily what he was looking for. Which, if it was only that simple, because it would be really simple if he was just like, I'm just looking for like a sneaky link. And then I could have replied, oh, I'm looking for a relationship. I don't think we have similar interests. Goodbye. My problem is people message me and make me think that we do have similar interests, and then we don't have similar interests. And then I'm just like forever waiting and talking and having conversation that I really don't care that much about. And I'm still sitting here. And it just goes on and on and on. It's not that I'm a loner, because I like friends, but that's not what this agreement was. Like I wasn't looking for a pen pal, and I made that perfectly clear. That's another situation. I'm just going to talk about Brian right now. Sorry. Anyway, so Um, I tried to I said I made it clear that I have expectations, and that I told him I started to slowly talk about the part of a relationship that is intercourse, by saying that I think it should be like a once a month type of thing or a special occasion, only because, like I said, I don't think um that homosexuality relationships are not as simple. Not that it's not as simple, but I think it's a different way. And like, heterosexual people can just have like, or having kids like out of high school or getting married and stuff at earlier ages, and it's not as normal for us. It seems taboo because I don't actually know anybody who's in a relationship or has kids. And the two people that I did know that actually got married, one of them is actually getting divorced. I just found out last week about that, and the other I have no clue because I didn't know them personally. I only knew them from work. But um neither of them actually got to the point of having kids. I assume that's more normal in places like San Diego and California, but here in like where I'm at in Florida, I don't know too many people. But in North Carolina, I know nobody who's like that. And I do know a couple of people that live the same lifestyle as me. Um so we the conversation was coming to a close. I tried to make it clear that I wanted a family at some point, and I was like, do you want kids? And he was like, no. And I felt like that was like, i don't I don't get why he was still talking to me and why he's still messaging me. um I was like, I would have expected somebody to reply like, not yet, I'm not ready, but at some point in the future. And I feel like that's the problem. Like, either you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and all of our days are numbered, and like, we don't have forever. And I don't want to look back in my 50s and 60s and still be that uncle who's not married, who does not have kids. And I feel like a lot of the times, I feel like you can tell when somebody will be like, oh, when you were younger, or like, even when they're in heterosexual relationships and they may not give signs or give that impression. Like, you can just tell it's just not like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm unhappy. And I feel like I can genuinely put my best foot forward to ensure that my partner is going to be happy and comfortable. Um and I feel like that's like something that's like becoming normal, that, oh, gay people don't get married, gay people don't have kids. And we're like in a situation where that's I think that we're in a place where that's slowly starting to happen. But especially for the circumstance that I'm in, with the location that I'm in, that it's not quite as progressed. And like I said, it's hard because I don't have an example to refer to, and I don't see anyone else doing that same thing. But to wrap this up, after he said that, I just remember he was like, you can be like my hand job associate. And I was just like, I would feel embarrassed if I told my mom that I'm somebody's sneaky link, or if you said that in front of your parents. Like, I was like, oh, I want the title as like boyfriend. That seems like a prestige role.